Every time you open ChatGPT, someone makes money. But it isn't OpenAI, it isn't Microsoft, and it isn't even NVIDIA. Every AI chip, every iPhone processor, every advanced computer on Earth has one thing in common. None of them would exist without one company, a company most people have never heard of. Its factories are so important that governments prepare emergency plans to protect them. One disaster in one place could shake the entire global economy. This isn't the story of the world's biggest technology company. It's the story of the company that quietly builds the modern world. This is TSMC. If TSMC is so important, why have most people never heard its name? The answer is surprisingly simple. Unlike Apple, TSMC doesn't sell phones. Unlike NVIDIA, it doesn't sell graphics cards. And unlike Intel, it doesn't sell processors. In fact, you can't walk into a store and buy a single TSMC product because TSMC doesn't build products for you. It builds them for everyone else. Apple designs the chip. NVIDIA designs the chip. AMD designs the chip. Qualcomm designs the chip. Then they all send those designs to one company, TSMC, the company that turns ideas into reality. But here's what changed everything. This business model didn't exist before TSMC. The idea sounds obvious today. Design the chips and let someone else build them. Simple. But in the 1980s, people thought it was insane. Back then, every chip company did everything. They designed their own chips, built their own factories, and manufactured everything themselves. It was expensive, slow, and incredibly risky. Then, one engineer asked a simple question. What if one company built chips for everyone? Most people laughed. Investors didn't believe it. Executives called it impossible. But that engineer wasn't just anyone. His name was Morris Chang, and he was about to change the entire semiconductor industry forever. Taiwan didn't have the money to outspend America. It didn't have the technology to beat Japan, and it certainly didn't have companies like Intel. So instead, it asked a different question. What if, instead of competing with everyone, we helped everyone? It was a crazy idea. Build the world's most advanced factories, but never compete with your customers. No products, no smartphones, no graphics cards, no processors, only manufacturing. It sounded like a terrible business. Why would any company trust someone else to build their most valuable technology? Almost nobody believed it would work. But there was one man who believed it could change everything. His name was Morris Chang. At 55 years old, most people are thinking about retirement. Morris Chang was starting over after spending more than 25 years building one of America's biggest semiconductor companies. He was passed over for the top job. Everything he had worked for was gone. Most people would have accepted defeat. He didn't. Instead, he packed his bags, left the United States, and flew to Taiwan. Not to retire, not to slow down, but to build a company that almost everyone believed would fail. Looking back, it sounds obvious. Back then, it sounded completely insane. And yet, that single decision would eventually change every smartphone, every AI model, every modern computer, and the future of technology itself. For years, TSMC kept growing, quietly, while the world paid attention to the companies whose names were on the products. Apple, NVIDIA, AMD, Qualcomm. They became famous. TSMC stayed invisible. But behind the scenes, something incredible was happening. Every new generation of chips became smaller, more powerful, and far more difficult to manufacture. One by one, the world's biggest technology companies realized the same thing. Building advanced chips had become too expensive, too complicated, too risky. So they trusted one company, TSMC. Then everything changed. Artificial intelligence exploded. The demand for advanced chips reached levels nobody had imagined. Suddenly, the company almost nobody knew became one of the most important companies on Earth. Today, TSMC manufactures the world's most advanced chips, the processors inside iPhones, the GPUs powering artificial intelligence, the silicon driving the future. And yet, for all its power, TSMC has one weakness. It doesn't control the most important machine in its factories, because there is one technology so complex, so precise, that only one company on Earth knows how to build it. Without that machine, no advanced chips, no artificial intelligence, no NVIDIA, no Apple Silicon, no TSMC. Just one company holding the key to the entire semiconductor industry. Its machines cost hundreds of millions of dollars, take years to build, and contain some of the most advanced engineering humanity has ever achieved. That company is ASML, and its story might be even more unbelievable than TSMC's.